All right. Thank you, Ashley, again for joining me. We've got a special edition on the HLS blog. We're doing some Copilot snacks. So today what I wanted to do is do just a quick video talking about Copilot for payers and really focusing on that Copilot for sales use case, something that a broker or an agent could use. And Ashley, you're uniquely situated to tell us how this works in the real world.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Working as a Medicare sales agent, I know I could have used this, so let's dive into it.
Yep. All right. We're going to do some quick setup, but what customers are really liking about Copilot for Sales is that it bridges the gap between, the systems of productivity where they're spending, frankly, a majority of their day, right? Think about Word and Teams and Outlook, and then their CRM systems. So it brings both of those worlds together kind of into one place so we can capture all of the information in the flow of work so that things like the CRM remain up to date to the delight of management everywhere. And then Copilot for Sales, just quickly, what this is, and the way I like to think about it, is that it's built on top of the Copilot for M365. So Copilot for M365 has amazing generative AI capabilities across Teams, Outlook, PowerPoint, Word, etc. And it also has this kind of enterprise grade conversational assistant that knows you and your organization and makes sure that when you're having these conversations that your data is your data and remains protected. It's not training big chat GPT out on the web. It's your data, your prompts. So with Copilot for Sales, what we've done is we've really built some unique capabilities, plugging in right on top of that M365 Copilot to inherit a user's access to Salesforce and only show them what they have access to in Salesforce, and then to offer real-time bidirectional integration and a lot of great sales-specific capabilities and workflows. That's what you'll see as we go through here. Finally, this is all built on Copilot Studio, which is our extensibility and customization engine. So you could tweak and modify this to continue to make it your own. But that being said, let's get into the good stuff. So I wanted to start my day, and I've got situations where sometimes I start my day and I don't know where to start. I think that especially for at agent, I know that there's that annual enrollment period. Probably gets a little crazy from time to time. So what we're going to do is we can even ask Copilot, are there any outstanding messages I need to attend to? Upcoming meetings I need to prepare for? And we're actually going to go with the typo and roll with it and see what happens. But
Great,
what
because that's me often.
Yeah, exactly. And so what it's doing here is it's looking through all of my email messages. It can look through your team's communications. It can look through your calendar, only your stuff, right? So it only knows about what you have in your inbox. And it's saying, okay, well, we've actually got some messages from Marcy Lambrusco. And Marcy Lambrusco is trying to make her final decision around a Medicare Advantage plan. And then we've got a meeting with Martin Davidson as well. We have to still respond to this email from Marcy. So lots of cool information here that we're seeing of how to get caught up. So how do you use Copilot to get caught up, or do things ever drop through the cracks, or did they ever drop through the cracks in your past life?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking at this, it would really make me more efficient thinking about my time in that role as a Medicare sales agent because you're just constantly talking to so many people and it's a lot to be able to remember all that. And I especially like how you have it listed here or how Copilot lists it here as upcoming meetings and outstanding messages because often we're trying to juggle both, right? We want to continue the conversations we had in the past while also having new ones going forward. And this just lays it out nicely and it's very intuitive. Like you just talk to it like you're talking
Yeah.
to an assistant in real life. I love that.
Like the best intern of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Now, I did actually have a conversation with this scenario a while back, and I want to show a little bit about how that situation unfolded too. So, say, I've got this meeting coming up, and again, this meeting is with Marcy, and I said, all right, help me get ready. What it's able to do is source not just your information internally around your calendar information, but we're also able to query CRM data, whether that's from Salesforce or Dynamics 365 sales. So it's saying, hey, actually, this is related to a particular opportunity. Here's some of the details. And it can help you prepare for that meeting by sourcing your M365 information, what's been going on with that interaction with that customer, what's going on in CRM. And I don't mean to pick on anybody in particular, but just as an example, if you were in a competitive situation, right? So in this scenario, Marcy said, I'm evaluating your plan and I'm evaluating Humana's plan. Sometimes that information is hard to get to, especially, open enrollment period, everything's changing. It's hard to stay on top of everything. There's a bazillion plans out there. So what we did here is we said, you know what, we're going to just source some real-time information from the web and figure out what the pros and cons are of our competitors so that we can then understand how we stack up. So in this case with Medicare Advantage plan, this is somebody that's maybe potentially retiring, right? So they might be doing some travel. So I want to know if I should maybe have a conversation about if Marcy's going to plan to be on the road or do some cruising as she gets ready to retire based off of what Copilot's pointing out.
This is really cool. And my favorite thing about all of this, not only is it helping you get that information in live time, but it's all in one place. You wouldn't be surprised how many tabs I would have to have open, plus physical copies of information just to answer three of those things that are on the screen right now. So having it all in one place is such a time saver and it would be immensely valuable for the conversations I know these agents are having. I love that.
Yeah, and besides just having this conversation, Copilot also does things like, say if you were on a web page and you were looking at somebody's plan information, you could actually have Copilot say, hey, Copilot, can you summarize the plan information on this website that I'm looking at so I don't have to scroll
Wow.
forever? Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's actually so useful too, because often when you're meeting with customers or potential beneficiaries in person, they're going to ask you questions like that on the spot. And it takes a lot of time to try to surmise that information on your own. So having a tool that can do that very quickly can move the conversation from apples and oranges to like, let's get into the nitty gritty of what matters to you by answering those questions earlier on. I love that.
Yeah. Now let's kind of pivot to the email focus here. So it told me that we had some follow-up that we need to do, some responses that we needed to make to our customer. So again, Copilot is here in this Outlook experience. This time what it's doing is it's saying, all right, well, I've got this email thread. I've been going back and forth with Marcy. Lots of messages, right? Maybe I need to stay on top of this and have those reminders of what's going on as I'm getting ready to reply or getting ready for that particular meeting. Copilot's able to then comb through all of that information and summarize everything that happened in the email thread. So I
Mhm.
know there's been times where I've been forwarded a email string that was already, say, like 20 email messages long, and
Yes.
ended up saying, you know what, I need to just have this summarized. And thank goodness that Copilot was there. But the
Hmm.
difference that we have here is that a lot of this you might be familiar with if you've seen Copilot, M365 Copilot in Outlook. But with sales, what we're doing is that we're looking at additional information that is particularly important to sales. So
Mm.
yes, we are showing the summary of everything that's going on in that email thread, but we're saying, you know what? I believe this is actually related to this particular opportunity in Salesforce, and I'm calling out for you some specific budget authority need or timeline indicators based
Wow.
what's happening in your email conversation. So Marcy's the decision maker. This is what her need is. She's looking to have an effective date of January 1st, 2025. Pretty important stuff, right?
That's amazing. That is so amazing. You would be so surprised, or probably you wouldn't, but most people might be surprised by how much time it takes putting all that information together. It really cuts into our time doing what we do best, which is talking to people. And so having that prep time just consolidated so quickly is that's amazing. I love this.
Yeah. And then we can continue opening things up a little bit further. When I clicked go to sales, we're loading a whole side panel experience that integrates directly with CRM, meaning that you don't have to swivel chair back and forth from
Mm.
CRM to Outlook and go and find the information and make sure that you're on the right opportunity. Right here from this record, I can say, you know what? I'm going to save this directly to Salesforce related to this opportunity to have Marcy become a member of our plan. So I'm going to go ahead and save that in. It would also capture in any attachments that are part of
Wow.
that email thread too, if we're
Mm-hmm.
sending them back and forth. And boom, there you go. It's part of Salesforce, it's part of Dynamics, it's part of the activity timeline. So it's
Amazing.
also pointing out some other things that are important. So what else do I need to know besides this one email thread? Right? We've got that check-in that happened in the past with Marcy that we might want to double click and take a look into. We're also summarizing the CRM data, right? Where is Marcy? She's still deciding, and she was sending some emails with some inquiries in the past. Here's the latest and greatest around the opportunity. And again, because I've got this connected to the opportunity in Salesforce, I can then drill into that information. I don't have to go open up Salesforce and make sure that I'm logged in and find hunt and peck for the opportunity. It's right
Mm.
here with a summary of all of the details. And I can go ahead and also see some of the key fields,
Mm-hmm.
potentially even update these in real time. So if I need to push this opportunity forward, hopefully we're always going forward, right? And
Mm-hmm.
maybe not going backwards, or maybe if I need to adjust a close date. So Marcy said that this is something that she wanted to have effective closer to January. Maybe I can put that into the December or January timeframe, update it, and in real time, CRM's up to date.
Wow, that's incredible. And I think what people should also remember and probably are thinking about, the biggest risk of meeting and preparing for meeting with a customer is all the other customers that you can't be meeting with. And so making your meeting times more efficient really is a game changer, especially with this coming AEP with all the changes and there's more people thinking about changing plans. If you can make that meeting time and that prep time for that meeting time more efficient, you can really increase your market share by meeting with more prospective beneficiaries without sacrificing the quality of your meetings. And I love that this is doing that. It's helping you work quickly, but giving you the right information to do it effectively.
Yeah,
Love it.
absolutely. And then there's other information here that's right at our fingertips that'll be helpful. So Marcy ended up including Bruce on this thread too. So if we needed to add Bruce as a contact because he
Mm,
was interested in coverage, that's something that we
hmm
could do. We could drill into the account information. We could see any of our open tasks inside of the CRM system, even any cases that are related to this prospect or maybe existing member who's getting ready for a renewal. But at some point, we've got to actually respond to this inquiry, and Copilot's able to help us do that as well. What it does is when we do that reply, it's going to say, all right, let me understand what this email thread is about, and then I'm going to go ahead and schedule a meeting. It's going to give draft all that information based off of the entirety of the email thread and also pull in specific information from CRM. So, for example,
Wow.
if you had opportunity products, right, a particular plan already related to this opportunity, it's going to be able to reference that information. That way we can, quickly make this our own, maybe modify it, make it shorter, make it more direct, make it more casual, and then have that draft that we're able to respond in a more timely manner. Again,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to take the entirety of this draft, right? You got to add a little sizzle and flair. You got to
Sure.
make it your own, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'll just quickly mention, you talked a little bit about getting ready for a meeting. Well,
Hmm
Copilot for Sales does that too.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I don't know if I have the one for Marcy in here, but here we go. As you're getting ready to join a meeting, it'll actually provide you with a last minute reminder of what's going on
Oh, that's incredible. That's so
before you join.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so amazing. Really
Yeah.
from a seller perspective, that's amazing, but also from like a customer perspective, just having someone to have that much continuity from our conversations, it would really make an impact on me. It just helps it feel more personalized. And I love that it equips you with that.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, Copilot can be used before a meeting in the types of examples that we were talking about. You can use it
Hmm
during a meeting. So if you had your 5-year-old home from school sick that day and they rushed into your office and asked you a question while you were trying to talk to Marcy and you
Which is
missed the
me
last
all the
thing
time.
she said, yeah, yeah. Well, Copilot knows what Marcy said, so you could actually say, "Hey, Copilot, what was that last question that Marcy had?" So, really great things that we can do with it here. Now, another thing that you'll see is as we are reviewing these meetings, that Copilot has the ability to automatically take all my notes for me, so I can pay
hmm
attention to the customer. So I'm not having to
Mm.
write and transcribe everything. It's actually taking all of these notes and identifying various follow-ups. And it's also doing some additional sales value here where it's able to say, from a sales perspective, let's take a look at some specific follow-ups that might be sales relevant.
Mm,
So these are things that can then suggest to add to your CRM directly. And this is the type of information that you can use to create a quick reply to Marcy
mm-hmm.
to say, hey, Marcy, this is what we talked about. As we mentioned in the call, we're about to, we need to check in 2 more weeks. Well, Copilot knows all that. Let Copilot write your email.
That's incredible. That's so
Yeah.
cool. I love that.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty great. And then one last quick thing, so we can wrap this up. I know we wanted to make this one a short video, but Copilot's also able to help. Say if you really wanted to get this super organized, you wanted to create a meeting prep document, getting ready
Mm,
for the meeting with a single prompt of, hey, Copilot, help me prepare for this calendar meeting that I have upcoming. It says, all right, yeah, I know about that calendar meeting. It's on your calendar. It's the one with Marcy. And it's the one that's related to the particular account in Salesforce and this particular opportunity in Salesforce or Dynamics as a CRM. Are there any open tasks that still need to be addressed? What happened in that email thread leading up to the meeting? And then are there any other open cases or opportunities that you should know about besides this one that you're working on
mm-hmm.
that's going to be really relevant to you? So, I mean, this is something that helps you, I think, just keep sane, right? As you're having a lot
Yeah.
of calls, a lot of opportunities. What do you think?
Yeah, this is incredible because just the sheer amount of people that you're meeting with, like whether you're at a seminar talking to multiple people or you're taking calls from people, it's a lot of information to remember and to expect anyone to just pull out of their mind. And so being able to just pull this all into one document by utilizing the power of generative AI, that is so amazing. It will help the experience be better for the prospective beneficiary. And honestly, I think it will make the seller's job more enjoyable because now you have all the tools ready for you to answer questions more meaningfully. This is great. This is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and the last one, and we'll have to maybe even do an entire session on this. But one thing that I did is that, I know that we're going to talk to Marcy and she wants to know how this plan compares against a plan from Humana. Well, Copilot was able to source that information for me directly as well, and even
Mm,
create a nice and easy to review table. And it was also able to provide a summary of our own plan because I was able to say, hey, Copilot, this is our new information about the plans that we have for this coming year. This is a lot that's being thrown at me. Can you provide me the quick talking points from this before I get ready for the
mm,
meeting with Marcy? And boom, it puts this output here again, making it so that I am able to be an expert in my product, be able to be prepared for all those questions that I have. And it's sourcing again internal content or even external content, because sometimes you've got really good internal information, and sometimes, say, in competitive intelligence, maybe you don't.
This is so cool. You would be very displeased to know that a lot of this work that I had to do on this was very paper-based, took so long, and I can never be sure if it was accurate. And so this would have saved my butt plenty of times.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's really cool. I actually use things like this in my day to day as well. I mean, I'm not selling, these insurance plans, but this
Mhm,
same type of thing is really important for me just
mhm,
as a person now in the world. I
mhm.
wouldn't want to go without it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, yeah. Again, thank you so much for talking to me here about what we're doing with the Copilot for Sales. I hope that this was a tasty snack. I hope that you are having just as good of a time as the fella here in the picture with his not one but two donuts.
Love
And
it.
yeah, I guess we'll probably do another one of these again soon. Thank you again, Ashley.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.